Welcome back once again. As we earlier said, we're going to be touching over the Israeli-Iranian conflict that is ongoing now in its 9th day. We're very delighted to be having with us over the phone Professor Dr. Hassan Wageeh, Professor of International Relations. Good morning, Dr. Wageeh.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir? So,
I'm doing fine, thank you.
The military confrontations has been going now in its 9th day. Of course, there is, and it's escalating, and it's forecasting dangers. I mean, there is also possibility of other countries getting involved. How do you assess the whole situation right now, today, in its 9th day?
Yes, of course, as it has been, it is a very dangerous situation for everyone in the area, especially for the two conflicting parties directly. And I hope that diplomatic efforts being exerted here and there could come out with de-escalation point. Unfortunately, the meeting in Geneva by the European Union members did not come up with something that really would be considered as a good de-escalation, and we have been watching now the exchange of fire between the two parties.
Right. Mentioning diplomatic intervention and mediation, the strikes came on Israel's behalf in the midst of the negotiations and diplomatic mediation. They were sitting on the negotiating table, and suddenly Israel started or decided to strike Iran. So from your own point of view as a professor of international relations, the bombardment, the Israeli bombardment on Iran comes at a time Israel is thinking of really denuclearizing Iran, or just as an aim, with the real aim or target of eradicating the Iranian regime from its roots?
Yes, actually it is a very sad situation, and it's getting more and more absurd, as the lyric said. You know, it is totally unbelievable to watch out for this bad double standard. You know, who started out the aggression lately? Israel started out the aggression lately. So you cannot say, I wanted to have the agenda of denuclearizing Iran, getting whatever in Iran. It has to be fair-handed. It has to be, yes, if you are like to talk about the danger of massive destructive weapons and the fear that come out of that, it has to be for Israel and for Iran and for everyone in the area. The whole problem of negotiating, the basis of negotiating by the international community so far is so biased and so imbalanced. Because if the international power is to be there, the diplomatic power to be there, it has to be fair by net, and it has to be, you know, because ask yourself what are the lessons drawn from previous negotiations that failed. Negotiation failed because it is one-way ticket, it is authoritarian, it is directed to one party rather than the two parties. You know, you are talking about fear. Out of fear, Israel is trying to hit every Arab country around it. It's unbelievably self-defeating strategy for Israel, because they are supposed to behave themselves in this area. They are neighbors. So Iran also having something said about the peaceful program they have. But if you'd like to be afraid of the nuclear bomb is there to deter and to make balances, not to be used, because if it is being used, it will hurt everyone. It will hurt the person who are having it. So we don't have to be so afraid. So as the agenda of the negotiation could be so imbalanced in one way, give up your weapons, give up your nuclear program, give up your defense system. Oh, this is imbalanced, and of course, any person, a fair-minded person, would not agree on the basis on which the negotiation is being conducted.
Right. We are talking about a situation now where there are statements from the United States and its administration studying the intervention of the United States militarily. Also on the other side, statements coming from Russia, from Pakistan, from China, from North Korea to intervene on the side of Iran. Also, we have the European countries also supporting some European countries supporting the U.S. So with the situation evolving or developing into that course, how do you read the future of this military confrontation between the two countries with the escalation and probably or possible intervention of some countries in the favor of both sides?
Yes, so your question is about future scenarios, right? Yes.
Right, the intervention of supporting countries to each side.
Yeah, this would be disastrous for everyone, because this would announce a third world war. Hopefully not. This is a nightmare scenario. But there are other scenarios, let us say, that if these international diplomatic efforts are to be continued in the right direction and make that, the most important thing is to have a ceasefire now, because you know, when you are negotiating under fire, there is a lot of tension and a lot of exacerbation of the situation, rather than de-escalating it so as people can listen to each other in a different mood. So I hope that the international community would come up with a ceasefire. This is the most important thing, because this would be conducive to come up with palpable results. Also, let us say that when it comes to the scenario of the international powers, if you analyze the statements made by American President Donald Trump, you can see that he said he is giving Iran 2 weeks, 2 weeks to go for his demand. But I think that his demands should be balanced, because the only way out for Iranians to listen, you know, now everything went out of proportion, and the war could continue and it could be escalated, and it's not in the interest of what Donald Trump is claiming as a man of peace, as a man who would like to have an impact on the world by his peace movement, the so-called peace movement. Yes, hopefully he will succeed, of course. And you can see that there is a conflict between the mediation efforts of Europe and the mediation efforts of the United States. This is also was reflected in the statements of President Donald Trump, when he said that the British and the Europeans and all Europeans are not doing good enough thing to make a stop for this war and make a resolution for this war. And he claimed that he is the person who could do it. Let us encourage him to do it, but we have to tell that it has to be balanced so as it will work out for him and for the entire world and for his Nobel Prize. Hopefully, I agree that he will get a Nobel Prize if he make a stop on these two wars, the ones that's taking place here in the area and in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. Why not? Hopefully.
Right. Also, we're talking about, when we talk about intervention, which is very possible, even if it's not in this week, then it could be in the coming week, in case negotiations fail, and they don't look like it is, the negotiations are going through the right course. So, is the intervention of the United States is in the favor of the U.S. administration? Is it going to be to the best interest of the Americans, the taxpayers? This is one thing. Also, the capabilities of the ballistic missiles and its possession of those, that's quantity of ballistic missiles on the side of Iran is not bad at all. It has been targeting, the latest target was an AI strategic center in Israel, and in case the United States does not intervene, Israel is going to be in a very bad position. Whilst at the same time, if you look on Iran's side, a country like Pakistan would never allow any harm to be affiliated or inflicted over Iran for its best interest. Russia also have given its concerns, its very close concerns and careful concerns that nothing could be happening in Iran that could damage facilities there. So we're talking about a balance that was not expected by Israel and the United States. How do you read that scenario?
Yes, I think that, as I've said, it's a very sad situation, and nobody seems to be listening to the correct information. There is a lot of fabrications, a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation, very chaotic situation. Why? Because take one example, as you have mentioned in your statement, in what way Iran still has great stock. Even inside Israel, estimates are different between the prime minister, who make it very high number of like 20,000, 280,000 vessels, while his defense minister says something far less than that, far less than that. And also when you can see this chaotic situation when it comes to correct information. Donald Trump was asked about whether he will listen to his intelligence director, who said that Iran is far away, still far away from having a nuclear bomb if this is the fear factor. And he said they are wrong. And he also sided to the Netanyahu calculations and Netanyahu statements rather than his own intelligence system. And even the conflict between him and his intelligence system was on the media. He said they are wrong. And he adopted Netanyahu. And Netanyahu wants the war and other wars to be ignited, unfortunately, for his own personal agenda, for things internal in Israel. Everyone knows about it. So I think the situation now, when it comes to information, there is no good information being there to base the negotiation on it.
Right. Also, looking over the situation from another angle, Egypt has succeeded profoundly in controlling or mediating or leading the mediation when it came to the conflict in Gaza, and have been launching several initiatives and until this very moment to stand up to the aggression and genocidal activities that are being taken inside the Gaza Strip by the Israeli occupation. So can Egypt be able to play the same role, not to stand up literally, but to play an effective role in mediation between the two sides, especially with the soft diplomacy and the foresight and foreign diplomacy of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
Of course, Egypt has already played an important role, and there is another round for the Egyptian role to be continued in the same direction. It is very rational move on the side of Egypt, aiming to de-escalate all the time. Egypt did not fall in the trap of expanding the conflict in our area. Egypt is trying to do that with all great diplomatic efforts. The president himself made so many balanced statements. He wants only to save the Egyptian sovereignty, but at the same time would like to go for a resolution and a solution for this very complicated situation. And he is also he contacted all the parties, and he has established many good channels for communication between all parties, so as we will continue our diplomatic efforts. Egypt is exhausting actually all diplomatic efforts it could exert, and I think that it's still making a balancing situation in the area, which could be extended easily by mistakes. I hope that everyone in the international community would listen to this. And I think that if you analyze the statement made by our delegate in the United Nations lately, you can find it an excellent piece of discourse. And also, even he went to say we don't have to see wrongful vetoes being used for the consensus. The whole world now is feeling toward the dangerous situation, the situation that requires all the international fair-minded people to intervene and make a stop on this stupid war, unnecessary war. Even Trump himself said it's unnecessary war. I don't know how this will happen and in what way he is helping it, and in what way he is not solving the problem very quickly. He has to be much more quick to take an action, because the United States has a lot of cards to play.
Right. On that note, of course, Professor Dr. Hassan Wageeh, Professor of International Relations, would like to thank you, sir, very much talking to The Breakfast Show. We're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.